Are you a business leader? Whether you are a people leader or a technology leader, or you run your own company, AI has something to do with you. And no, this isn't just more AI hype. This is about finding practical, tangible solutions where you can use AI to make you more money or to save you costs. In fact, those are the only two things you need to concern yourself with when it comes to AI. Is AI going to open up new revenue streams for your existing business, or possibly even open up a new revenue stream in a new company? Or alternatively, are you going to use AI profitably to reduce your costs or to even affect how you hire people, thus bringing down your people expense? These are the things that you're going to need to consider when you think about AI and its impact on your business. The thing that you have to look for is whether or not you're missing opportunities. As we said, opportunities exist to increase your revenue streams, and there are also opportunities to reduce your costs. What does that mean specifically? Well, revenue streams, there are new ways in which you could bill your customers, you could introduce new services into your business, you could start doing things that were considered a little bit impossible in the past purely because you didn't have AI. And these things could introduce brand new ways of making money into your company. The second thing that you could do is you could start rethinking how you deploy resources in your business. You could factually replace some people tasks with AI. You could equally remodel the way in which you use your people skill inside your organization so that you're paying less and making more return. These are the things that you need to consider in an AI future. And in fact, it's no longer even an AI future, it's an AI today. The AI reality of the here and now means that you have to take action. You can't keep leaving it into the future. So, like I said earlier, if you're a people leader, if you're a technology leader, if you own your own company, you have to start taking some kind of action in the short term. And this is really what I'm doing right now. I'm spending a lot of time working with business leaders, working with boards, working with technology leaders, working with company owners, with entrepreneurs, and I'm helping them reimagine the way in which they do the tasks that they've been doing for quite a while. And we help companies find these clever ways so that they can wind up saving more money on existing processes or introducing new revenue streams into their organization. So what we've done is we've compiled a very simple sequence of events that you can execute inside your organization in order to crack the code on an AI future. This is to enable you to get going no matter how burdensome the topic of AI might seem to you today. So just as a teaser, I'm going to share a little assessment that you can do with your business right now in order to ensure that you are successful. The first thing that I advise that you do is rate your current team across 4 criteria of AI usage. Go ahead and start having dialogues, having conversations with some of your people and determine where they sit on the spectrum of AI adoption. And let's use generative AI as the mainstay form of AI that we will assess with, purely because most people are currently engaging with generative AI in some form or another. So this would be, generative AI would include things like the use of ChatGPT, the use of Microsoft Copilot, and several other generative AI platforms like Anthropic Claude, and so on. So go ahead and have some conversations with your team members and assess them across the 4 key stages of generative AI adoption. The first stage being complete and utter neglect. This is where you completely ignore the availability, the general availability of generative AI like ChatGPT, and you just pretend like it doesn't exist, and you pretend like it's not going to have an impact on you, your role, and your business. So a lot of people do find themselves in the zone of neglect. Go ahead, chat with your people and see whether they live there. If you find that a lot of your people are there, it is telling that you may need to encourage the adoption of AI through all sorts of techniques that you could employ within the organization, incentives and such. The second area, after the area of neglect, would be the area of lethargy. This is the zone of lethargy. This is where people are using generative AI in a lazy way. And simply, it's almost as though someone discovers generative AI and realizes that generative AI can do all sorts of cool things like write that assignment that's due, or create that internal memo that has been asked for, or create a marketing strategy, or create a plan that the head of operations has requested. When people start discovering that they can do their work using generative AI, they tend to experience the first zone of lethargy where they get a bit lazy about doing their own work and they start outsourcing that to generative AI. That's a valid phase, and a lot of people enter that phase and then they get through that phase. So it's important to see that your people are in fact getting into that phase and getting out as well. And then right after that, we have the zone of fair usage. This is where you'll have employees who are starting to get really smart about how they use generative AI in their day-to-day functions. They're taking a lot of time to go ahead and put together very complex prompts, and they start really feeding a lot of valuable content, viewpoints, subtleties, nuances, and information into generative AI. And then as a result of all of this wonderful input that they are putting into the system, they're getting wonderful, coherent, well laid out responses from generative AI. So they really are using generative AI more as an editing tool that's just helping the user organize their thoughts in a coherent fashion and present the data in a better format. And then, of course, we have the final phase, and this is really where we want to get our people to. We want to get them into the fourth phase, which is called the zone of opportunity. And this is where we're really partnering with AI in a very clever way so that we are maximizing the areas where human beings really thrive, where we are bringing our value to the workplace at its maximum point. And we also equally want to partner with AI in the area where AI is strongest, in the areas to do with things that human beings typically consider fairly mundane, which would be deep data analysis, looking through mounds of data and picking out some trends, maybe spotting irregularities in a sequence of information that was fed into an AI. So all of these things that are quite mundane in nature, yet quite easy for an AI to get right, if we can really partner with AI such that the strengths of AI partners with the strengths of humanity and the human workforce, then we really hit a point which we are going to find very optimum when it comes to outputs. And that's really your 4 phases of AI adoption. Now, before we move off that, I just want to leave you with one extra tip that you can use in this initial assessment that you're going to do with your team or with your workforce as a result of watching this video. The best thing that you can do is, on a scale of 5 key criteria, go ahead and start rating your employees against the possibilities of AI. So for example, through your dialogue, through your conversations with your various people, start rating them on the criteria of resourcefulness. How good is that individual at making the impossible possible? Are they thinking outside the box? Are they coming up with cool new creative ideas? Are they able to go ahead and find that solution despite the odds being stacked against them? When you have a problem in your business, who is that person that you are able to go to and say, go figure this one out, I really need to count on you at this time, go make this happen? The reason why this is so critical is because you can never go and make that ask of an AI at any point. So you really want to be able to understand who in your organization can you really go ahead and count on when it comes to those opportunities in the business to really make the impossible possible. And become familiar and comfortable with your people and what they bring to the organization, what they bring to the team, and how they stack rank against this concept of resourcefulness. The second thing to look for is creativity. And this is where there's this flair towards putting forward something that's perhaps brand new to the business, brand new to the individual, brand new to the circumstance. Who's really good at bringing original thought forward? Who's really good at conceiving something that is really based not on track record, but based on something that is novel and new to the world? Like, who's willing to break barriers and come up with a concept to design something, a look and feel? Just something, anything that could be considered brand new. And that's really the realm of creativity in its truest sense. It's not just the kind of creativity that generative AI can produce in the way of a video or a song that is composed and pushed through generative AI systems, but rather that human creativity. It's about novelty, it's about newness, it's about reimagining or imagining for the first time. Who's really bringing that skill to bear in the office? The next point to look at is perception. This is critical. No matter the business that you find yourself in, the ability to observe, to see things for what they are, to perceive the reality of the here and now, that is absolutely critical, and it's worth its weight in gold. So go ahead and start assessing your people and find out, discover, observe. You do the job of observing your people and observe how they observe. Who's really good at spotting things? Who's really good at seeing things for what they are? Who's able to read the room? When you walk into a client and you pick up that something is amiss and that something just doesn't feel right even before your client says so, who in your team is the first to pick that up and advise you and give you that counsel and help you to engineer a solution before the problem has even become a problem? That is absolutely critical in any team, and you want to have your eye on that particular talent. And then, of course, we come to the concept of care. Who in your team is caring? Who cares for the client? Who cares for the client's well-being? Who cares for what other people are going through? Who cares to pick up the phone and deliver the message by voice despite the fact that an email might have been sent? Who cares to go beyond the call of duty because they are thinking about how the other person feels? That is huge. And in an AI future, it is so big, I can't even get into it right now in the short video, but the value of that commodity of care is going to trump anything we might have experienced in business to date. So have your eye, have a keen eye on the person who cares. And again, this is just a means, an assessment format for you to go ahead and start thinking about your people. It doesn't mean that someone's going to score in one and not the other. Go ahead and just rank your people across all of these criteria. The last one that I want you to consider is the concept of understanding. Who brings about understanding? Who is the person that walks into a situation that might be a little bit a situation in conflict, and they are able to bring about understanding on both sides? They're able to look at the whole situation and go, okay, I totally get that you see it this way and that you see it this way, but here's where you might be missing each other. Or equally, I totally get that you don't understand what might be going on right now. Let me take a moment and let me simplify some of these complex terms so that you can gain a better understanding. Who is your champion of understanding? Who helps you bring about understanding inside your organization and even outside the organization? That ability to bring about understanding is another core ability that you really want to praise, you really want to validate, and you want to really make a big thing out of it, especially as we move into the next realm of doing business. Taking all of this into account, I would say you have there a scale of 5 key attributes that I strongly suggest you start working on immediately. Start rating your team, gauging your team, observing your team against those 5 criteria, and you are going to be able to use that knowledge very swiftly and very effectively as we transition into a world of AI, because you want those skills in your business. You want to pour the gas over those skills, and you want to cause those skills to just blow up and get even stronger as we go into an AI era. So that's just a little bit of a tip for now. I know I squeezed a lot into a short amount of time, but this is just me giving you a little bit of insight and guidance as to how you need to be shaping your thinking with regards to your team and your business as we set up for an AI era. Obviously, trying to be as practical as possible and give you something that you can actually go out and use right this second. I hope you enjoy that. And if you did, I would strongly suggest that you subscribe, because that's what I need to grow my message.